dynamic, viewers, to another player in this game. Is he actually part of this entire Muslim brotherhood and trying to say that we are the nation that was formed on the basis of Kalma? Or given what we saw visuals from the White House, nothing more than a vassal and ready to dance in front of the highest bidder? Pakistan's failed Marshal Asim Munir has been humiliated in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump promising Pakistan unprecedented access to American defense technology in return for unconditional military and strategic support against Iran. Now, according to top diplomatic sources in Washington, D.C., the meeting was anything but ceremonial as Trump laid out a series of sweeping demands and bold offers aimed at reshaping the regional power balance. With tensions rising across the Middle East amid growing fears of a full-scale Iran-Israel conflict, President Trump has reportedly asked Pakistan for unconditional military and strategic support. A top diplomatic source confirmed, quote, "If the US goes to war with Iran, we want Pakistan on our side," unquote. This support would include access to air bases, ground logistics, and potentially sea routes, making Pakistan a critical player in any upcoming military theatre. Now, in return, Trump has dangled the carrot before Pakistan and has promised unprecedented access to American defense technology, including fifth-generation stealth jets and advanced missile systems, along with significant financial aid. Now, this offer is seen as a counter to Pakistan's growing dependence on Chinese military support, particularly as the country prepares to receive Chinese J-35A fighters and air defense systems later this year. A key message from President Trump during the talks was unambiguous: stay away from China and Russia. President Trump also knows that the Pakistani military has long played a double game with the United States. Now, during the years of our military presence in Afghanistan, Pakistan took US assistance and at the same time provided support and sanctuary to those who were killing US forces. This is what he has said. Similarly, during the war on terror after 9/11, the Pakistani military selectively helped both US and the Al-Qaeda terrorists. Where did the US find Osama bin Laden? Well, they were shielded in Pakistan in one of Pakistan's military facilities. Now, this is something which is being spoken about very strongly. Meanwhile, Pakistan, is it back to being America's quote-unquote tissue paper? Right? Use at will and however they please. Why? Field Marshal Asim Munir, is he a failed marshal or a failed general or an opportunistic marshal? Why? Remember, Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif met the Iranian ambassador and reaffirmed support to Iran. They also issued a letter addressing the OIC. Pak Defense Minister Khwaja Asif urged Muslim countries to unite against Israeli aggression. And just before the Pahalgam strike, it was General Asim Munir at that time who invoked the Ummah and spread venom against Hindus, saying that this is the only nation that's been formed under Kalma after Makkah, Medina. That's what he said. He is now seen dining with POTUS. So is he a failed general or an opportunistic marshal or both? Let's try and understand this. The hypocrisy, is it lost on the world? Is it lost on the Muslim nations and especially Iran? That this entity which claims to be standing up for the Muslim cause is in bed with the Western powers. Nothing but a vassal state. Tilak Devasharji is with us, Zahak Tanveer with us, but Ambassador Deepak Vora?
Is that question addressed to me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Well, I see that Mr. Deveshar is there. His knowledge is unrivaled. Very few in the world can match his knowledge about Pakistan. Let me put it to you like this. Has anyone accused Mullah Munir of being intelligent? The man is a joker. He's an ass. You know what Donald Trump did to... There used to be a fellow called, I don't know if he's still around, not Beginsky, the Ukrainian fellow who begs all the time, Zelensky. You know what he did to him in the White House. You know what he did to the South African in the White House. You know what he did to Macaroni in the White House. This guy is a sucker for fun. Does he think that Donald Trump is inviting him to... By the way, the menu was very interesting. It was jihadi biryani. It was katleam dahi. It was atam ghati naan. And something else and something else. So, I mean, what do you think he was... Why has he been invited? He's been invited because Mr. Trump doesn't want American lives to be exposed in Iran. He wants... It's a 900-kilometer border with Iran. And in January of last year, Mr. Deveshar will recall, they were lobbing missiles at each other over allegations of helping the Baloch rebels. Yeah. And then Raisi, the former president of Iran, came and then there were lots of hugs and kisses. Oh, darling, darling, sweetheart, sweetheart, Islamic brother, Islamic sister. They went back, started lobbing missiles again. No. The Iranians cordially detest the Pakistanis. vice versa. But what they need is all the bases they used to clobber the Taliban. They'll want to use them again. Plus the 900 whatever kilometer border, they would want to send in. Sir, I believe that he has told Munir, send in your troops and they will take charge of whatever they have to do. If your guys get killed, we'll give you $1 per Pakistani soldier who's destroyed. You should be very happy with that because I've given you a free meal. You don't get enough food in. No, I'm not being facetious. I mean, he's going to buy the lives of Pakistani soldiers. Simultaneously, sir, the attack will also come through Afghanistan. You recall there's a place called Bagram Air Base, and the Americans, when they ran away, left a lot of stuff behind with the Taliban as chowkidars. That don't touch this stuff, they haven't been using it, we'll come back and use it. So I know the Afghans, I'm half a Pathan myself, half Pashtun, my father was a Pashtun. So I understand the psychology of the Pathans. Therefore, Afghanistan and Pakistan will be used by the Americans to clobber Iran. Target, regime change in Iran, after that the denuclearization. And if Munir thinks that he's indispensable, sir, how many times would he, his country is a sucker for punishment. Use, abuse and discard. Use you, abuse you and throw you away. They've done it time and again. But the lesson of history is that there is no lesson of history.
But Tilak Devasharji, every time this has happened, Pakistan is suckered up to the Americans. They've got tanks, they've got nuclear technology, they've been weaponized. And that's come at a cost for Bharat. The other part is that Asim Munir, there is this crypto angle, personal business of Trump. His son is involved in that business and Pakistan has opened its doors there. There could be a possible regime change in Pakistan itself because the engagement is with Asim Munir and not with Shehbaz Sharif. On the one hand, the civilian government says we back Iran, but the field marshal is sitting there at White House and saying, I'll give you the air bases and give you military control. What's going on? How do we see this as Bharatiya?
You see, it's no doubt true. Pakistan is dying for US. But look at the cost it has paid. During the last two Soviet Union's invasion and during the war on terror, there's Kalashnikov culture, they've got a radicalized Pashtun population, kind of losses that they have taken. It's a huge cost that Pakistan has paid over the last 30 years. This time it's going to be worse if it is suspected that Pakistan is helping the US. 23%, 24% of Pakistan's population is Shia. And they are spread all over, but they're also in concentrations in places like Karachi, in Quetta, in Gilgit, in places in Punjab. They'll be hell to pay. There will be an internal civil war in Pakistan between the Shias and the Sunnis in case it is known that Pakistan is giving air bases to the US for attack against Iran. Number one. Number two, 14% of oil and diesel of Pakistan is smuggled from Iran. Every day there are 2,000 tankers that bring in oil and diesel. That's how Pakistan is surviving. Now the border is closed. If it remains closed for another 10 days, prices of oil and diesel, prices will go up and there will be scarcity. So Pakistan cannot afford to rub Iran the wrong way, both for its own internal domestic peace and for the fact of fuel. Now, President Trump may have offered Munir everything. He could even have offered him that, look, you take over, you become a dictator, then I will support you, we won't put sanctions on you. Pandering to Munir's ego. That, you just get rid of the civilian government. But do you think Munir can afford to do that? He's got problems in Balochistan. He's got problems in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. He's got problems with the Taliban. Does he want problems with the Shias who are spread all over Pakistan? I would be very surprised. I think he would be even dumber than what Ambassador Vohra said he was. He'd have to be even dumber to go in for something like this. So, what is the next best? You see, Pakistan is masters in playing two people off at the same time. Brotherly relationship with Iran, that is what they did with the Taliban. They were partners with the US in the war on terror, and yet they supported the Taliban for 20 years and helped them to come back. They will try and plan something similar. But here, I think the important thing as far as India is concerned, we have a Shia population too.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of unity among the Shias, and we don't want any disruptions among the Shias in India. What the Shias of Pakistan do, that's their problem. So we have to keep a very tight watch. And as soon as Pakistan does something, tries to think that they're very smart to do something with Iran, against Iran, we must immediately expose it and put the Shias on their guard. I think that's what India should do, because otherwise there'll be a blowback on India too.
A very interesting observation there, Zahak Tanveer. The other angle is that there is a bill in the US Congress that's being pushed by the PTI against Asim Munir. Many believe that's due sometime in November, December, end of this year. And before that, Asim Munir will try and take control as the president of Pakistan. And there will be martial law in Pakistan in the next few months. And if, and a lot of them are reading this as a US sanction for this. Because it's not Shehbaz Sharif who's been engaged with, it's Asim Munir who's been called. And the civilian government has announced support for Iran. And the military is sitting there trying to help the Americans. How do you read this?
This has been, Anand, this has been the history of Pakistan, the double games, the double standards. So Pakistan has been hosting the rental business for the militias as well as the military. So if there is a conflict in the Middle East, they need the militias to counter that conflict. The Pakistan will be giving the rental, rent out to militias. So at the same time, Pakistan also has the rental military. So you want the military bases, you want the military to counter the Iranian expansion in the Middle East or something. So the Pakistan is ready to support that as well. So Pakistan doesn't have any principle. Pakistan doesn't have any kind of strategy. It's all about money. And we have seen in 2001, 2002, 2003, when the Afghan jihad, the US invasion of Afghanistan was happening. So Pakistan gave the bases to US. At the same time, Pakistan was also getting the mujahideen from all over the world, from Russia, from Bosnia, from Croatia, from Chechnya. And the Pakistan was also training. It was all happening under the eyes of ISI. It was happening under the vigilance of ISI. So Pakistan has been doing this dirty game for all the time. And unfortunately, we see that the Pakistanis, they blame America for everything that happens inside Pakistan. They blame America. And at the end, you see it's the America which comes to the support of Pakistan. It's only the America. Even we have seen in Operation Sindhu, no matter Pakistanis has been boasting that we have defeated the Hindu army, we have defeated India, we have done this, we have done that. But at the end, the reality is it's the United States. It's the Trump that has come to support Pakistan. It's only that. So now the talks are happening. The PTI, the Imran Khan side. So they have been pushing this, that Imran Khan was pushed out and the coup happened and that happened and this happened, and it's very dramatic situation in Pakistan. The civilian government is supporting Iran. At the same time, the army is supporting America. So it's possible that there will be the talks about the sanctions on paper, but there will be no such thing happening in Pakistan, because on paper, Pakistan does a lot of things. So the UN sanctioned Azhar Masood. So Pakistan didn't do anything against it. But on paper, Pakistan did something just to justify that, yes, we acted on it. So, that's it. I mean, the Pakistan has no ground, no principle, nothing. It's been a rogue state. It has no
True,
standing
but all
of
this could see something landing in Adiala jail and suddenly Imran Khan neutralized just before Asim Munir takes control of Pakistan and dethrones the Bilawal Bhuttos and Shehbaz Sharifs and that civilian government is not there at all. But Tilakji, this is also going to come at a cost for Bharat. You talked about the Shia community here. The Shia community is also watching very carefully what's going on. They're looking at Bharat's position, plus also what's happening in the neighborhood. But geopolitically, what does this imply for us? Is America a friend or a foe? Or do we have only two friends, the Russians and the Israelis? Nobody else?
See, first, Anand, there are no friends. Everybody has their national interest. For a period, our national interest coincides with that of the US, supposedly against China. But if it starts diverging at any one state, I don't think so any one of us should feel upset about it. Because it's national interest, no friends. Right? And about internal, I just want to make one point. You see, Munir was called specifically to meet Trump for lunch. Pakistan is still a democracy, supposedly. Trump, if he wanted something, should have called the elected prime minister. The fact that he didn't is a now green signal to Munir. And I would be very worried if I was Shabazz Sharif or Asif Zardari or Bilawal Bhutto. I think their clock has started ticking for them. And for Imran Khan sitting in the Diyala jail. Because the US does not care about democracy or about politicians in Pakistan. All that they care about is getting their strategic objectives met, which they believe will be met by Munir and by Munir alone. So the civilian government is now almost out of the equation. It's just sorry, the Pakistan army. And as far as India's position is concerned, we are on our own. We have interests, we have good relationship with people, so long as it suits both sides.
Right.
But nothing more than that.
Ambassador Saab?
I cannot disagree with what Mr. Deveshwar has said, what Zag Saab has said. Well, first, thank you very much for saying the marshal will impose martial law. The pun, I guess, was intentional. So that should not be, it's not something that is beyond the ken. And secondly, sir, you mentioned about military regime again. May I tell you the American mindset? And I've seen this myself. There used to be a chap called Anastasio Somoza of Nicaragua. I think he was a dictator. And I was posted in the United States during Ronald Reagan's time. Somebody went and said, look, this guy is a terrible dictator. He's forgive the language, but I'm quoting what was said, that he's a son of a bitch. And Ronald Reagan turned around and said, I know he's a son of a bitch, but at least he's our son of a bitch. Now, that kind of thing, when the Americans have that mindset, we don't care if he's a mix between Idi Amin and Adolf Hitler as long as he serves our interest. I think that is what we are seeing heading, what is going to happen in Pakistan. It's happened consistently, constantly. I've seen this go. Regime change will come probably in Pakistan before it comes in Iran. Because if the civilian government and the fellows there in Pakistan think they don't want to upset the Shias, well, out they go. In comes Munir. And then Americans get what they want. Otherwise, there's no such thing as a free lunch. This is the cost of the lunch that he got.
Yeah, but something like this means more dollars, Tilakji, final word, more dollars in the hands of the Pakistani deep state, which will be then directed to the jihadi outfits, and that means more pressure internally for us. So, or do we continue to do, irrespective of whether the Americans want the air bases or not, if they are being used against us, we go and continue to bomb them? What do we do there?
Dollars will certainly come if they can strike a deal, between Munir and President Trump. If they can strike a deal, that's a big if, even at this moment. But what has dollars done to Pakistan the last 2 times? In fact, right from Ayub Khan's time when they gave air bases at Peshawar for the U-2 flights, and then during the Soviet Jihad and war on terror, what has Pakistan done with those dollars? They haven't improved the system of education. They haven't improved their economy. They haven't improved water. They have not invested in people. You can trust that Pakistan will buy more weapons. They will try and beef up the terrorists. But this is something that India has now taken care of it once. We can take care of it in the future too. All this money is going to go up in smoke. It's not going to help Pakistan build the real power that what India has invested in. So I don't think so. We need to be unnecessarily concerned about it. Yes, it teaches us a lesson. We should have realized. A lot of people went overboard that now we are in America is our best friend. Right? But now you realize it's just national interest.
Yeah.
It is only and only national interest.
True, and let Bharat also focus its foreign policy and its own posture based on furthering Bharat's national interest. In this region, it's difficult. We can't choose our neighbors. We got to live with what is there. But we can clearly, going forward, play a role in influencing how our neighbors behave and who they engage with. And if they don't engage in our interests, we should also try and do a little bit needling here and there to try and ensure it's all stitched to our convenience. And I'm sure, the wise men in the panel understand what I'm hinting at. But viewers have got to pause it on that note. Ambassador Deep.